along with me. Breaking news, it's a thrill. Live chat, got time to kill. XD, we're breaking the mold. Special guests, stories untold. Unfiltered truth, no hidden clues. No suit and tie, it's all for you. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is scary. On Next News Network, we never vary. On YouTube, we're streaming live. On Rumble, the chat is alive. On X, we're trending high. And mainstream media's dead, and we are why. Millions of followers, hear us out. Seen all over the world, there's no doubt. We are the future, shining bright. Join the raw feed every night. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is scary. On Next News Network, we never.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Raw Feed, the show that brings you the stories they don't want you to hear. I'm Gary Franchi, and tonight we're diving headfirst into day 2 of what can only be described as DNC Hell Week. As we speak, the Democrat National Convention is spiraling into chaos. Night 2 is unfolding like a slow-motion train wreck, folks. It's a spectacle of incompetence, hypocrisy, and sheer desperation that makes yesterday look like a cakewalk. But that's not even the biggest story of the night. We're hearing whispers of a political earthquake that could reshape the entire 2024 race. Donald Trump and RFK Jr., two men the establishment fear most, more than anything, can be joining forces soon. Could you imagine the panic at the DNC war room right now? But we're just getting started. We'll expose Kamala Harris' radical agenda that threatens to destroy the middle class and turn the American dream into a nightmare. And if that wasn't enough, we've got a Harris surrogate wishing violence on J.D. Vance's family. Yes, it's a new low, even for them. Now, here's what makes the Raw Feed different. We're not just talking at you, we're talking with you. Throughout the show, we'll be diving into live chat, getting your real-time reactions to these breaking stories. Your voice matters here, and we want to hear it. And listen up, because this is important. If you want to help us bypass the algorithm and get this crucial information out there, take out your phones right now, text a link to the stream to 5 of your most patriotic friends. Let's beat the censors at their own game. So buckle up, America. This is the Raw Feed, and we're about to take you on a wild ride through night 2 of the DNC disaster and the underbelly of American politics. The truth is not always pretty, but on this show, that's all we serve. So stay with us, keep the chat rolling, and let's make some noise they can't ignore on this second night of DNC Hell Week. Let's get into the chat and see who's here. Welcome everyone to the show. Yes, it's wild. We are watching everything. We got Killer B in the house. What's up, Arkansas? If you are watching, wherever you're watching, if you are in Canada, if you're in Europe, if you are in the United States, drop the name of your city, your state, your country. We want to know where you are watching from, because this is a community. All of our viewers here, the millions of people that watch this program, we want everyone to know you are welcome here. We're all inclusive, right? Okay, we got Texas. We got Lori from Texas. We got Chris. Has the military been brought in? Yes, they have. Yes, they have. We got the video of that. We got Dave in here. We got Linda. Wendy Peppercorn. Wendy Peppercorn. Tim is here. We've got Arizona in the house. Loretta is here. Military Mom 17. First time to catch you live from Nashville. I love Nashville. I really do. Great city. Good time. I like to call it Nash Vegas, personally. Actually, that's my brother's term, but hey, that's another story. Okay, we got Deplorable in the house. Ooh, George is calling in from East Los Angeles, California. Sorry about that. We got Terry in the house. We've got Gray Lee Art in the house. We've got Karen here. Jeremy, what's up? What's up to all the mods? Keeping it safe in the chat room. Deadhead is here. Dave. Killer B again. Company. Man, God, I can't even keep up with the chat. It's just like blowing up. Blowing up. Okay. Praise to Gary and the mods here to make sure the commies don't try to ruin our news. Yes, that's what they'll do. We got V Danielle in the house. We got Susie Q in the house. Roll me one Kenobi. Roll me one Kenobi in the house. What's up, Roll me one? Right on. Karen is here from Kansas. Kansas checking in. We got William in the house. My goodness. Side branches Paul. R. Boyd in the house. Apparently R. Boyd went out and got some barbecue from Sonny's. Yeah, a little bit jealous there. We got the Tippinator and Sabrina. We've got Resto Guy and Brenda. John is in the house. Lester is here. Yes, I know. We're rolling through the chat quick. Sure you is in the house. Pardon me. So many people. Okay, so we got to get into this news because there's a lot happening, and I want to get to it quickly because the Israeli consulate is under siege at the moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because DNC Hell Week is in full swing. Night 2 of the Democrat National Convention unfolding like a slow-motion train wreck. From protesters breaching security to delegates brawling in the stands, it's a circus that would make Barnum and Bailey blush. But the real question is, can Kamala Harris salvage this disaster, or is she just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic? And speaking of disasters, let's talk about something that's actually going up in value. I'm talking about gold. As the DNC implodes and our national debt skyrockets past $36 trillion, smart Americans are turning to the one asset that has stood the test of time. Global Gold Investments is your lifeline in these turbulent waters. With gold prices surging past $2,400 an ounce, can you afford not to protect your wealth? Call that number on the screen, 888-700-4148 now, and mention Next News for VIP treatment. Don't let the DNC's chaos sink your financial future. Okay, let's get into this right now. So, just 3 hours ago, we got a tip that was sent in some intelligence behind enemy lines organizing violent, unpermitted protests tonight at 7 p.m. The Israeli consulate, unpermitted group, may march along Madison, Washington, Randolph to United Center. Directly from their promotional material, make bruises from Chicago police batons, the 2024 back-to-school fall fashion. Disgusting. They state this will not be a peaceful protest. Their stated goal is to shut down the DNC. They're bringing thousands of protesters and have been conducting training workshops in Chicago all last week. You know the drill. Bring in anything that could be used as a projectile. Secure your homes, businesses, and vehicles. Again, they're clearly not interested in a peaceful protest. This was from a Facebook post on True West Loop, basically warning everybody in the West Loop to secure their homes and their businesses. This is where we're at right now. So let's jump right to it, okay? This is the huge fight. This is just moments ago, a huge fight breaking out after the Antifa crowd tried to go through the Chicago police line. Very chaotic scene. This is happening moments ago in Chicago. There's Taylor Hanson. Oh my. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, that was just moments ago. Of course, CNN would describe this as a mostly peaceful protest. More video now. This is chaos ensuing outside the Israeli consulate in Chicago as anti-Israeli rioters clash with police, incredibly aggressive, causing me, Nick Sortor, to end up on the ground. Oh my goodness. Let's see if Nick's got anything else to add to this moment here. This is just moments ago. And what's interesting is that we had just posted from Terry Newsom had just sent us this video. And this was just yesterday when they were announcing this.
If you have a heart, if you have a mind, if you actually want to fucking throw down for the Palestinian people and the people of the world, come through tomorrow. We're going to the Israeli consulate. We're not getting no fucking permit. We're not putting on no high-vis vest. A Palestinian keffiyeh and a high-vis vest are a fucking oxymoron.
And clearly, if you watched that clip, he was performing for the cameras right there. He looked at the camera. He saw it right there. Meanwhile, Air Force One is parked right outside of Santa Barbara Municipal Airport. Joe Biden's been cast aside so his president doesn't distract from Kamala's moment at the DNC. She's just been coronated, if you don't know, as the nominee. We're going to continue going on. We'll check in with that, what's going on outside of the Israeli consulate in a moment. But this is also interesting breaking news. Governor Pritzker confirmed the activation of approximately 250 Illinois National Guard members to assist with security during the Democrat National Convention. And, of course, we're going to get some reaction from Donald Trump. We're going to go through some reaction outside. But, of course, yes, last night past his bedtime. There were bomb threats all day today. Bomb threat, District 1, District 12, District 18, Buckingham Room, Michigan Plaza, St. Regis Hotel, Erie Crown Theater, Hyatt Regency McCormick, all receiving bomb threats today. Nobu Hotel, Hotel Chicago West Loop, Hyatt House Chicago Medical District Harrison, Hyatt House Fulton Market, Omni Hotel, Peninsula Hotel, Ritz-Carlton Water Tower, the Hotel Chicago 10-Pin Bowling Lounge, all receiving bomb threats today. And of course, how can we forget how they opened up Day 2? An absolute disaster. Laura Loomer weighing in. At the Women's Caucus at the DNC convention, Democrats forgot the lyrics to the national anthem. I'm at a loss for words. I guess this is expected from the party that hates America and wants our country to be taken over by communists. Listen to this.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we
Now, if you listen carefully, you can hear the lyrics being played in the background, and they are completely out of sync. Oh, what an embarrassment. What an embarrassment.
Responsible for having a fucking party in this fucking city. This is what we think of your fucking rag. This is what we think of your fucking rag. The only acceptable American flag is one that is burned to char.
Wow. Going on right now.
For any American citizen confused, I want you to reflect back on the last 5 years. If you're fucking older than 16, then you remember 2008. You remember.
These people are out of their minds. It continues. We've got so much to get to here. Reviews are in for day 1 of the DNC. Of course, yesterday, train wreck. It's fair. This is on CNN. Are you ready for this? CNN, of all places. They said it's fair to say that the Republicans had a tighter ship.
There are a lot of people, if they have made it this far into what is, to be honest, on the East Coast, the second day of the Democratic National Convention, as I'm not the first one to observe.
It is late, which is
rather late.
Very notable, I think, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it is fair to say that the Republicans had a tighter ship. At those
Jake Tapeworm weighing in, actually admitting the Republicans had a tighter ship. And of course, if you missed this, did you see this? This is the Palestinian protesters breaking in to the DNC, holding up their banner, and of course getting it promptly taken from them. Massive standoff happening right now in front of the Israeli consulate, blocks away from the DNC. It is out of control there. Absolutely out of control. Joe Biden hanging out in California. Of course, last night, Joe Biden gave a midnight speech when everybody was sleeping. They pushed him to the end of the docket for the evening, and he, of course, presents his lie he's been pushing for years.
When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said.
Yeah, can we get a fact checker? Oh, Snopes? Snopes went ahead and fact checked that a long time ago, but he continues to peddle that lie to the American people. Now, Kamala Harris and I are committed. You remember this? Did you hear this last night? This is last night.
Demonize immigrants, saying they're the poison of blood of America. Poison the blood of our country. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration.
Strengthening illegal immigration. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. A little Freudian slip there from Joe Biden. And, okay, now Mr. Reagan posted this about 14 hours ago. I woke up to this. The most ironic moment of the DNC.
Own Donald Trump would be able to weaponize the Department of Justice to go after his political opponents. He could even turn the FBI into his own personal police force.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That is not how it works in America. That's how it works in dictatorships.
So I guess
Trump
we are living in a dictatorship, aren't we? Because that's all we've seen for the past 2 years as they go after Donald Trump repeatedly. Today's cover, Democrats bury an angry, shouting Joe Biden at 11:30 p.m. in a final disgrace. New York Post posting this headline today. Democrats deliver final insult by pushing Biden's angry, bitter speech to midnight past his bedtime. Donald Trump posts from his True Social, Trump Vance. Democrats have no vision or solution for the country. Democrats have no vision. They would rather talk about President Trump than the problems facing our nation due to Kamala Harris' failures. Mentions last night. Trump 147 times. The border 8 times. Economy 27. Inflation 3 times. Yes, they continue. It keeps going on. Now, Savannah Hernandez, she was out there, and she tracked down one of those abortion vans. So if you're looking for an abortion or a vasectomy, head on down to the United Center, and you can get one for free because Planned Parenthood has got you covered. Savannah Hernandez getting this footage. The first footage we have seen of these abortion vans. She says patients actively walking in and out of these vans. Frontlines powered by Turning Point USA. So there goes a young man in there about to get the snip. And there goes a woman in there. She's getting ready to get her abortion. Close the door. Need a little privacy. Oh, there's the huge IUD. right in front. There was a great clip that was posted. We're going to check back in with what's going on in Israel. We've got, there's just so much to cover here. I don't even know where to begin. Oh, yes. Here, take a look at this. As all the chaos is unfolding, Ben Bradley TV catches this video of Walz out for a leisurely jog this morning amidst all the chaos. Yeah. Trying to look all fit and energized, ready to take on America. At the same time, we've got absolute chaos unfolding. This is all while the delegates are casting their votes for Kamala Harris. Look at this madness. Look at this madness. Wow. Feels like 1968, boys. 1968. Now, reporter William Kelly, he was out there. He said, due to the events of today, the pro-Hamas protesters' breach of the DNC security perimeter and attempts to storm the United Center this afternoon, he had second thoughts about presenting this video. Let's take
Mayor
a look.
Johnson.
Listen, come on now. That's a terrible question.
I know it is.
That's a terrible question. No, he won't. Listen, come on now. That's a terrible question.
I know it is.
That's a terrible question. No, he won't.
Thanks. Well, here's what we know so far. Mayor Johnson has issued a statement saying that it's a privilege to have the demonstrators come to Chicago for the DNC to issue their demands, that it strengthens democracy. What he didn't say is how one-sided protest strengthens democracy. If I get a chance to ask him that, I will.
Hello, reproductive justice champion. Let me hear.
Kelly, how you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
Quickly, so what are you expecting tonight?
Well, we're expecting a peaceful protest. Everybody here seems to be peaceful. They seem to be on message, and all they want to do is have their voices heard.
Yes, and there's obviously a lot of police here tonight. What about the other 50 wards?
We have police over there too, but we have to make sure that we maintain traffic control and everything else to make sure that people are safe as they're marching. This does, especially in this footprint, it requires a hefty amount of police officers to make sure no one gets hurt.
I do hear that the mayor is calling the organizers of the protests, making deals.
I can't tell you about that. I don't know. I'm not having those conversations.
I can't tell you about that. The mayor calling the organizers of the protests.
With the mayor.
Has he told you to stand down?
What I'm concerned about right now is what we do here and make sure that people are safe.
Will the mayor throw you under the bus?
Listen, come on now.
Did the mayor throw you under the bus?
That's a terrible question.
I know it is.
That's a terrible question. No, he won't.
Thanks. Well, you heard it from the superintendent. Hopefully he's right. We won't have any danger here tonight, any violence here tonight, or in any of the other 50 wards of the city.
Yeah. But now, of course, it is all hell is breaking loose at the DNC. Here we have Gaza protesters inside the Women's Caucus meeting. Tim Walz attending. More chaos unfolding. Hell Week continues. Hell Week continues. Meanwhile, the Democrats, according to CNN, they've added a third layer.
Breach happened, Kate, and what you can see is down the street here, they're adding an extra layer of fencing. So now, instead of 2 layers of fence, there is 3 layers. And this is, just an example of the way that law enforcement is trying to fortify this area after the breach. And a couple other things that we're seeing, the fence that's different this morning is these bolts here that are securing these in place. And then, in addition, this extra layer here, Kate, it stopped at the top of this panel, and then what we saw this morning is this extra panel going up. And what protesters were able to do, Kate, is they sort of got together and they came from the bottom and half away.
Yeah, that's what they did. That's what they did. In fact, we're going to head over to our main page. We just uploaded like 20 videos that Terry Newsom sent us, and one of the videos, you can clearly see them right here. Boom. Check that out. You can see the person hammering the hinges of it. This was yesterday.
DNC is right there.
Working the hinges to get those barriers down. Nothing's going to stop these people. Nothing is going to stop these people at all. We got more, folks. You ready? Here is, I want to get to the shot of the National Guard deployment. Here it is. National Guard on the scene, deploying for all these protesters. Listen to this.
Used in Chicago. National Guard troops were deployed to assist security efforts. And it's not just the Guard being used in Chicago. On Saturday, Police Superintendent Larry Snelling deputized about 300 police officers from Milwaukee and downstate Illinois to work with Chicago police.
I want to reassure everyone that we will have resources in every single neighborhood. So it's not forgotten that we have a city to protect. It's not just around the venues covering the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're boarding up the entire city. Here's another shot of the protest. This is more National Guard on the scene. Marissa Hansen posting this image. Looks like maybe it is a hotel lobby where Illinois Governor Pritzker activated hundreds of National Guard troops to protect Democrat officials at the DNC from protesters and rioters. Why didn't he do this when they were burning down minority neighborhoods and businesses in the summer of 2020? Great question. Great question. Oh, Donald Trump posting this from his Truth Social account. Listen,
Donald Trump.
This is how obsessed these people are with Donald Trump, programming all the people in attendance, all the people watching to hate the man.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Trump. Trump.
Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
These people are sick.
They are. Yeah. Take that. Let's check back in. Okay, so here's a shot of this is businesses boarding up, National Guard on standby in anticipation of riots at the DNC. BG on the scene. You can take a look. Look at this shot. Look at these poor business owners. This is what they have to resort to in Chicago for the Democrat National Convention. Staples. You can't even go and get Staples and printer ink. Oh, I guess they're open, though. How inviting. What do you think? That's from Dads Who Dad posted that. Here is Joe Rambo posting this. 17 agencies and the National Guard.
To expect from a group like that. But what I can tell you is what I expect from our side. We're going to stay focused on First Amendment protection, but we're also going to make sure that we protect everyone in this city.
So Chicago police again turning out here. And just a reminder, Chicago PD has 17 other law enforcement agencies from across Illinois and from Wisconsin here in town, helping them with the DNC, along with, the governor says, the National Guard. But those other agencies, the city says, are guarding facilities, they're guarding buildings and sites. Yeah. CPD is the only agency out here. City officers are out here dealing with the protests and getting ready for another night out.
Getting ready for another night. And it's all happening right now, as we just showed you, with the Israeli consulate under siege right now as you're watching this. Hell is breaking loose in Chicago. But an interesting observation here. This is when Kamala Harris took the stage. Looks like a lot of empty seats there. Everyone seemed to have gone home for the evening. That was last night. The speakers tonight: Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer, J.B. Pritzker, Tammy Duckworth, Bernie Sanders, Michelle Lujan Grisham, and the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, as well. CNN political commentator calling out network's fact checker Daniel Dale live on the air.
Several things, right? One, this was a very base. One, the Democrats better get their act together because it was terribly orchestrated, put together. It took too long. Joe Biden went way in the night. I know this gets consumed differently. Not most Americans aren't staying up to watch this. They're going to watch it in snips and clips. But it was really just poorly produced, and I think that was a missed opportunity in a lot of places because sweet baby James got bumped from the ticket last night, right? You had James Taylor in here practicing. I think that there wasn't a lot of outreach to the Tim Walz part of the party. If you're a white working class guy in Erie County, Pennsylvania, nothing spoke to you last night. They weren't going after those voters, the Tim Walz voters last night. It was geared towards, specific, very heavy on abortion, right? Lots of women of color and women. So you're right. My demographic was not the target last night. And so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, your target, your demographic will never be the target, my friend, because you are the problem.
And look, Daniel Dale wasn't around last night, so I think in terms of fact checking, just a couple quick fact checks here to provide Daniel Dale.
He's got his notebook.
The convention didn't run long, as the convention planner said, because of applause. Okay, this is factually not correct. It didn't run long because of applause. It ran long because of poor planning. Project 2025 is not the blueprint for the Trump campaign. When the state senator stood up there and said that, I'm like, are you kidding me? President Trump has stood on numerous platforms and said, I disavow this. It's at NPR. It's on this network.
But we got to fact check. The architect of that was on camera saying he was totally for it. And
the architect can say whatever he wants, but when the candidate stands up there, I think it's our obligation to say the Trump campaign is, and the candidate has disavowed this. The third thing is that Trump has said, I will not sign a federal ban on abortion. I will not sign it if it comes to me. I won't sign it. And Trump has always been for exceptions for life of the mother, rape, incest, the normal kind of things that every person in the abortion world has ever been for. And yet that was kind of implied. Joe Biden finally topped it all off with the lie of lies about Charlottesville that Snopes and everybody else has kind of said this isn't true. So those kind of things that kind of marred from a factual perspective. I think those are kind of should have been fact checked along the way because they just weren't true, and it kind of devolved. I think if those things the big things aren't true, what other things aren't true that are being said? So again, I'm not the audience. It was a red meat for the Democratic base.
Blue meat.
Blue meat. There you go, folks. There you go. We can keep looking at the Israeli consulate. Let's check back in real quick. Israeli consulate. Oh boy. Let's just check in the DNC here. DNC riots. Massive stand. Holy cow. Oh my God. Holy cow, here's more. Look at this lineup, friends. Chicago cops dominating the far-left activists, pushing them away from the Israeli consulate. Officers have formed multiple walls to push back. Look at that. They got a drone up there. Holy cow. And here we have a dog. Yeah. Updated GPS reveals over 88,000 foreign and domestic Antifa members are in Chicago to protest the DNC. 61,000 foreign and over 27,000 domestic. Some of these Antifa members have been linked to past riots and have also accessed key cards required by the FBI DOJ parking garages. How nice. Pro-Palestine demonstrators currently clashing with the Chicago PD riot squad. Okay, we're going to check on this later in the show, but as the dust settles on another night of DNC mayhem, one thing is clear: the Democrat Party is in free fall, with protesters at the gates, chaos in the halls, Kamala Harris and her team scrambling for control. But here's the kicker, folks. This is not just a bad night for the Democrats. It's a wake-up call for America. So stay tuned, because this political earthquake is far from over, and it's only day 2. All right, let's check in with our chat. What are you guys thinking about this? What are you guys seeing? What are you guys hearing? Sorry, Brian. Okay, the Democrats are hateful, says Elizabeth. Blue UN hats, says Kitsy Witty. I don't think those are blue UN hats. Personally, I think those are Chicago PD. What else we got? Try screaming like that into a Hamas leader, you dummy. Camel Toe should have told them not to come. Yeah, right. What else? Behold what they have created. That's exactly what's happening. This is, you see, they call us hate. They call conservatives, Republicans full of hate. You didn't see anything like this at the Republican National Convention. I mean, you never see any MAGA rallies or even protests devolving into madness like this. It is only the radical left that continues to perpetuate this type of hatred and violence against their fellow Americans, against their fellow party. But yet they project, and they project, and the media works with them. The media continues to amplify their message. The algorithm boosts the lies. Unbelievable. No, I don't think that's the, I do not think that is the UN. No, I believe it's Chicago PD helmets. The Summer of Love Part 2. Look for what? Yeah, it does look like UN helmets. I do believe that. But no. Total Idiot, says Kat. Weimar dogs. Look at how messy they are. Blue helmets. The wiener dog is a reference to... Oh, goodness, man. Okay. All right. I'm not going to go there. All right. If you haven't shared the stream yet, please share the stream so we can get more eyeballs on it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Raw feed. We got some more news we need to get into. Next topic of the night is an interesting one. Very interesting one. Gonna probably be live for another 90 minutes. Okay. Hold on to your seats, America, because we're about to dive into a political bombshell that's sending shockwaves through Washington. Imagine this: Donald Trump, the man the establishment fears most, potentially joining forces with RFK Jr., the Democrat they couldn't silence. It's an alliance that could rewrite the rules of American politics, but the question on everyone's mind is this the masterstroke that seals Kamala's fate? Now, while we're talking about game-changing moves, let's talk about how you can make a power play with your finances. In a world where the political landscape can shift overnight, protecting your wealth isn't just smart, it's essential. That's where global gold investments comes in. With gold prices soaring and the dollar on shaky ground, now is your time to secure your financial future. Call 888-700-4148 and mention Next News for a free portfolio analysis. Don't let political uncertainty dictate your financial security. Okay, this is big news. Let's jump into it. Now, right off the bat, Roger Stone weighing in just 3 hours ago, he says, RFK dropping out to endorse Trump? This feels like a head fake to me. Yeah, that's the word on the street right now. RFK's vice presidential pick, Nicole Shanahan, the ex-wife of the former Google executive, says they're debating whether to stay in the race or drop out and join forces with Trump. Listen.
What my gut tells me right now is that we just have to keep being honest. I got to just keep being honest. I got to keep focusing on what matters the most outside of party lines. I need to focus on a vision that goes beyond November. And if that means that we stay in, and, you know, there's benefits to staying in. If we get over 5% of the vote, we actually establish ourselves as a party. 71% of Americans want a strong third party with a real shot at winning.
Sorry, but it'll never happen.
There's even public funds available if we get over 5% of the vote. So we could get, I think it's like $13.5 million in public funds to keep the party going. And that's, you know, that's worth something. That means that we can position for a real third party election in 2028 where we don't have to go around and spend tens of millions of dollars on ballot access, which means that we can spend all of that time and money campaigning. So, you know, there's two options that we're looking at, and one is staying in, forming that new party, but we run the risk of a Kamala Harris and Waltz presidency because we draw votes from Trump, or we draw somehow more votes from Trump, or we walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump, and you know, we walk away from that and we explain to our base why we're making this decision. Not easy.
Clearly.
Yeah, not an easy decision.
Listen, I've been saying this from the beginning. I would love to see Donald Trump and RFK Jr. join forces. Okay? But when this VP pick was selected, it became obvious that it was the wrong choice. However, if they do join forces, it could be very, very powerful. Now, here's what's interesting. Just 7 hours ago, RFK Jr. was prevented from being able to testify at his court hearing, and we got Trump's reaction on this too. He was prevented from being able to testify at his court hearing, deciding if he's eligible to be on the Pennsylvania ballot. That could be a deciding factor in this entire situation. If he can't even be on the ballot, then, well, maybe he should just join with Trump. Listen to this.
Where and the judge did not give him time to come to court to testify. He was late through no fault of his own. We don't control airlines, and when the airline cancels a flight into Harrisburg, as you know, flights into Harrisburg are far and few between, unlike Philadelphia, where this hearing was originally to be scheduled. Because of the transfer to Harrisburg, he had very few flight options. His flight was canceled, and for that reason and that reason alone, the judge decided he can't testify. So that's sort of the end of it. I've never been in a situation where a canceled flight has resulted in a judge preventing a presidential any witness from testifying, given that we have the entire day set aside. Very easily could have had an adjournment to allow Mr. Kennedy to get here, and we could have presented our case in full. And we were not allowed to do that.
I heard Mr. Kennedy's engagement last night in Philadelphia had been canceled.
So the judge is like, your flight's canceled, so what? We're not going to let you testify. Sounds like the judge doesn't want him to be on the ballot. Where have we heard that before? Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what President Trump says.
Can I ask you about RFK? Because just moments ago, his running mate said that they were considering endorsing you. Have you considered him for a role in the administration, and what role would that be?
Well, we haven't, but I would love that endorsement because I've always liked him.
Would you also consider putting him in the administration?
You're asking me a very unusual question. I haven't been asked that question yet. I like him a lot. I respect him a lot. I probably would if something like that would happen.
So he is considering a role for RFK in the administration. Roger Stone sees this as a head fake. Charlie Kirk weighing in 9 hours ago. RFK Jr.'s VP, Nicole Shanahan, says their campaign is considering joining forces with Trump to prevent a Harris-Walz administration. RFK endorsing Trump is the natural move. They're both sworn enemies of the CIA, FBI, and the military machine. RFK can help a lot with the FDA, CDC corruption. It doesn't matter if they disagree on some issues. They agree on the big stuff. The civilizational defining issues. We must defeat Team Blue this November. I agree 100%. Now, here's what's interesting, too. Listen to the polls. Colin Rugg, 5 hours ago, the statement that we're hearing now is likely why the betting markets are swinging towards Trump. Most of Kennedy's current voter base would likely go to Trump. Kennedy was polling at 9% before Biden dropped out. He's now polling at 5%, meaning the Democrats who were supporting him because they didn't like Biden have already jumped ship. His remaining supporters would likely swing to Trump, especially if RFK made the endorsement. Donald Trump has retaken the lead on political betting platform Polymarket after trailing Kamala Harris for the past 10 days. Now you can see, look at these numbers. Look at them. Look at them go. Donald Trump now at 50% to 49%. Georgia, he is up. Pennsylvania, just down a hair. Arizona, he's up. Wisconsin, well, Harris is still up. Nevada, Trump is up. And in Michigan, Harris is up. Now, this is through the Polymarket betting platform. Trump opened RFK Jr. administration. He's expressed openness to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. playing a role in his potential future administration should Kennedy drop out. I like him and I respect him. Joey Manorino. Just imagine a Trump cabinet that includes Robert F. Kennedy, Elon Musk, Ron DeSantis, Rudy Giuliani, Dan Bongino, Vivek Ramaswamy, Steve Bannon, and many more like-minded fighters, each tackling their areas of expertise. A candidate beholden to no one but the people of America. What do you think about that? RFK Jr. I mean, I've been wanting to see this for a while. I like RFK. I don't agree with him on all the issues, but the fact that they are now signaling this, on a podcast out in the open, and Trump says he's open to having that endorsement, this is good news. We need to bring that side of the ticket into the Trump camp so that we can defeat this monstrosity of communism that is on the horizon. So as we wrap up this bombshell report, let's remember what's at stake here. The Trump-RFK Alliance isn't just a political maneuver, it's a declaration of war against the establishment. It's David and Goliath times 2. And while Kamala Harris and her team scramble to respond, one thing's clear, the 2024 race has just been blown wide open. So stay tuned because the story is far from over. And let me ask you this. Drop a comment below. What do you think about this? Do you want to see RFK join the ticket? Join the movement for Trump? Let me know. Okay, we'll ask you guys in the chat. What's up, chat? What are you guys saying? How are you guys feeling about this? Chaotic Symphony says no to Vivek. A lot of his talking points and even vocabulary use are spot on with Obama when he ran. Been hearing a lot of that. A lot of that. Mr. RC51. No to the deep state, he says. Joe says yes to RFK. Matthew, yes to RFK. Another Matthew says hell yes to RFK. Let's just hope there will be an election, says Cindy. There is still time for it to be canceled, the War Powers Act. We do have news on the nuclear front with Russia and Joe Biden. New York Times just reporting this. We're going to get to that later. We've got Nicholas Barczyk saying RFK Jr. is surrounded by socialists. Pay attention. Tim Chad reacting to the poll results that we just presented to you. No way is Harris even close to polling that high. Now, those weren't actual polls. Those were the betting markets, I believe, for each of the states. So, let's see. Is this our Paul Revere moment? Says JT, well, our Paul Revere moment is every single day. Years ago, I started an organization called the Lone Lantern Society. Lone Lantern, one if I land, two if I see, because the enemies of this country are on our soil now. And you can clearly see that. Willie weighing in. He says, hilarious watching the Democrats eat their own and imploding after all these years dictating their failed policies. Ellen, weighing in on the RFK question. We could use RFK Jr. if he stays in his lane. Jennifer weighing in. Hello from Michigan. All right, let's get to our next topic of the evening. Lots of news. We still have to cover ground here. This one is just disgusting. Just disgusting. We got reaction from the Trump camp. So, even CNN weighing in. Let's go. Brace yourselves because we're about to expose a new low in American politics. Senator J.D. Vance, the Republican vice presidential nominee, a voice for hardworking Americans, he's been viciously attacked by a Kamala Harris surrogate. But this is not just mudslinging, folks. We're talking about a public figure openly wishing violence on a senator's family. It's a shocking revelation that exposes the ugly underbelly of the Harris campaign. So the question is, will they get away with it? Now, in these unpredictable times, your safety on the road is more important than ever, and that's where Car Vision X comes in. With tensions rising and civility declining, can you afford not to have a reliable witness on your dashboard? The Ultra 4K HD dash cam with night vision, 24/7 motion detection is your silent guardian on the road. Visit carvisionx.com and get free express shipping during the summer special. Don't wait for an incident to wish you had protection. Act now and drive with confidence. Okay, let's get right into the heart of the matter now. This just happened. Governor Bashar appears to wish J.D. Vance's relatives get, I even hate saying the word, raped and impregnated. This is what he said. You ready? Do you want to hear this? Have you heard this yet? We got the video. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear refusing to apologize after the fact. We're going to get to his reaction, though. Let's play the clip. Let's see. Where is that clip here? Here it is.
I mean, think about...
Mancow Mueller posted this. Here we go.
I mean, think about what some people have had to go through because of these laws. I mean, J.D. Vance calls pregnancy resulting from rape inconvenient. Like, inconvenience is traffic. I mean, it is. Make him go through this. I mean,
make him go through this, right? That's what he's saying. Make him go through it. He wants him to have a personal attachment to the policy. J.D. Vance immediately weighing in.
About his comments are disgusting, and I think it's important that the media not misrepresent what I actually say, because then it leads a guy like Beshear to go off and basically, and he's effectively fantasizing about some member of my family getting raped so that I know what it feels like. I just think that's really gross and really disgusting. Look, I mean, the guy's a complete loser, and he's gone after me repeatedly, but this particular thing, going after my family, really bothered me. And look, the comments that he's talking about, I never once called rape inconvenient. It's a total fiction of the Democratic National Committee. I never said it. I never said anything like it. What I was talking about was the context of an unexpected pregnancy, not one caused by rape. And I think that we shouldn't see unexpected pregnancies, babies that come from them, as inconveniences. Of course, rape is a terrible, terrible tragedy and a terrible, terrible thing. I never said what the Democratic Party accused me of.
Now, here he is, the Kentucky governor, refusing to apologize.
What you said this morning on Morning Joe, okay? I'm going to just prepare you for this. Saying that well, let me take a look at what he said about you.
J.D. Vance calls pregnancy resulting from rape inconvenient. Like, inconvenience is traffic. I mean, it is. Make him go through this.
So what he's saying is that you were somehow suggesting, he said, what the hell is this? Why is Andy Beshear, he tweeted this out, wishing that a member of my family would get raped? What a disgusting person. So how do you respond to that? I mean,
well,
is that what you were talking about?
Of course not. It's ridiculous, but it's also deflection. I mean, J.D. Vance knows that he and Donald Trump are so wrong on this issue, and so he's trying to make himself the victim. Listen, Hadley Duvall was a victim. The women that were on the stage last night, the couple that had to go through a non-viable pregnancy are victims. You know, as a man, J.D. Vance will never have to face any of this personally. But it's sad that he lacks the empathy to be able to put himself in a different position and to understand why having exceptions, having reproductive freedom is so important in the first place. Obviously, I'd never wish harm on anyone. And it just, again, deflection, trying to make...
Wait a second. Hang on. Did you catch what he said here?
I mean...
Well,
is that what you were talking about?
Of course not. It's ridiculous, but it's also deflection. I mean, J.D. Vance knows that he and Donald Trump are so wrong on this issue, and so he's trying to make himself the victim. Listen, Hadley Duvall was a victim. The women that were on the stage last night, the couple that had to go through a non-viable pregnancy are victims. You know, as a man, J.D. Vance will never have to face any of this personally.
Wait a minute. What? As a man? How can that be? I thought that men could get pregnant now. Isn't that the whole, like, Democrat platform? Anyway, of course I kid, but he's deflecting. Of all people, he's deflecting. The Trump-Vance campaign issuing an official statement on this. After speaking on the DNC main stage last night, Harris campaign surrogate Governor Andy Beshear went on national television and explicitly called for a member of Senator Vance's family to be raped. His comments are disgusting, violent, and should not be tolerated in American politics. We call on Kamala Harris to immediately repudiate Governor Beshear's comments and demonstrate that regardless of partisan disagreements, this kind of violent rhetoric has no place in our public discourse. William Martin, Vance's communications director. And of course, he does not apologize for his statements. Now, there's some interesting other developments with respect to the reproductive front. On the vice presidential side, Jake Tapper pointing out Tim Walz. If you've been paying attention, Tim Walz said that his family required IVF to conceive, and even Jake Tapper calling out Tim Walz.
Vice President Harris's running mate Tim Walz is tomorrow night. The campaign is having to clean up some comments he's made about one of the campaign signature issues having to do with reproductive rights. This is what Governor Walz said on MSNBC while criticizing J.D. Vance. Take a listen.
J.D. Vance knows nothing about that. And then he keeps going into all of these things. Today's IVF day. Thank God for IVF. My wife and I have 2 beautiful children.
Now, that's not accurate, right? I mean, it wasn't IVF. It was a different procedure. And his wife, Gwen Walz, the First Lady of Minnesota, is taking care to tell CNN that they actually used a procedure called intrauterine insemination. IUI. It's a process she described as an incredibly personal and difficult experience. They did use fertility treatments. It wasn't IVF.
Any woman who's gone
Sergeant Major.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. I want to.
Any one of the 1 in 7 women who goes through fertility treatments, IUI is part of the suite of fertility treatments. It's a step below IVF. It's direct insemination versus creating embryos. I think that is a stretch to say that it's not part of the broader fertility treatment.
The way they explain it is he just talks like how regular people talk.
I mean, my husband wouldn't know the difference.
First of all, my wife did IUI not once but twice, and then we did IVF not once but twice, trying to have a child. And so as a father of IVF babies or whatever, yes, I would call. I mean,
you're not winning if you're making
what? You would say it's the same thing?
I would just, as a man, I would probably mess that up.
Look, guys, this is a head scratcher.
Yeah, but why clean it up?
It's just have your facts right as you come out and you're going to tell the story. It opens up an opportunity for them to now have to try and bury a cleanup in their convention week in the line.
But we will have this discussion with J.D. Vance and Donald Trump any day of the week. I get it. It was inartful. It was not accurate.
It's not accurate.
It was not accurate.
Well, the distinction is IVF is not, or IUI is not under attack anywhere the way IVF is, but it is part of the suite of options. Most people.
Okay. Well, anyway, CNN coming out. What's interesting too is that J.D. Vance, because of all of Walz's lies, of course, his stolen valor, responding to the press about how he's going to debate Walz. Listen to this.
A lot of them.
To know how you were prepping for a debate with Tim Walz, who has described himself as a bad debater. Who's helping you, and how are you prepping?
Well, I found a good friend from back home who embellishes and lies a lot, and I'm having him stand in for Tim Walz. That's what we're doing during our debate.
To know.
There you go. Yep. And that's what Tim Walz does. Misrepresents his position. And I thought this was great, too. J.D. Vance at a local, and of course, this Miranda Devine. This is just petty and unpleasant. Said our J.D. Vance at a local deli in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Do you have any food here you really don't like? We'll take some and feed it to the journalists on the plane. If anything, yes, the mainstream media deserves dog food. So as we conclude this disturbing segment, let's be clear about what we have witnessed. A surrogate for a major presidential candidate has openly wished harm on a senator's family and faced no consequences. This is not just a gaffe, it's a glimpse into the soul of a campaign that will stop at nothing to seize power. Remember this moment, America, because when the history of this election is written, this could be another turning point. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. All right, let's head to the chat and see what you guys think about this gaffe. Wishing that a member of Vance's family have to go through something like that. Oliver Smith. Waltz and Harris said they will not debate. What's up, Alabama in the House? Jeremy Stick says these people who go after stolen valor are pretty aggressive. Where are they at? Israel Sarafat. Walls is a commie spy for China and should be detained and disqualified. And Harris has absolutely no idea what she's doing. And she has BS'd her way through her entire life. She certainly has. Meant to be free. I'm afraid that law enforcement will be overwhelmed and the National Guard will be called in at the DNC before it's over. Well, they are already on the ground. They are already there, stationed. It's already happening. It's already happening. In fact, we could just check in real quick to see if there's anything happening with the DNC before we get to our next story. The latest. Here it is. 1 minute ago. Brian, bring this up on the double big box. 1 minute ago, clashes intensify. Clashes intensify as Chicago riot police try to gain control of demonstrators outside the DNC. This is happening right now. Look at them. They're shining these lights in the faces. Julio Rosas posting this moments ago. Chicago, wow. This is all happening right now, folks.
They took one of us.
This is the aerial footage that we showed you earlier of the massive police line outside of the Israeli consulate where the protest was taking place. We brought that up earlier. It was a non-permitted protest. They didn't care. They announced it yesterday. Terry Newsom got the footage of them announcing it. Local Chicago business owners posting alerts on social media about this, saying board up, take anything off of your doorsteps, anything that could be picked up and used as a weapon, bring it in. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, this is a meme. Here we go. Okay. Oh, I see what they're doing there. I see what they're doing there. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. Here's more. 4 minutes ago, at the RNC, businesses did not have to board up storefronts, and there was no need for police at the RNC. Get a bunch of Democrats together at the DNC, and it looks like Gaza. Marjorie Taylor Greene, press, posting this. Mainstream media will not show you the mass arrests happening around the DNC. Here we go. This video from Tenet Media.
What's your name? Jeremy Hammond. What's his name? Date of birth. Jeremy Hammond, y'all know who I am. Date of birth. You'll get it when he's in custody. Move back. The fuck away. You're very fuck away. Yeah. Guess what? Hey, free Palestine.
Freedom News TV, Olia Scootercaster. Protesters on the move against police lines in Chicago tonight as the DNC convention is underway, blocks away. Look at they're advancing.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Free Palestine of the world!
Right up to the line. Okay, look at that guy. Look at that guy right there with the beard. Look at the guy with the beard right there. Center screen. Is this the same guy? Is this the same guy? Is this the same guy? Where's the footage? I think I just passed it. Here he is.
Fucking oxymoron! If you have a heart, if you have a mind, if you actually want to fucking throw down for the Palestinian people.
This was yesterday.
Come through tomorrow. We're going to the Israeli consulate. We're not getting no fucking permit. We're not putting on no high-vis vest. A Palestinian keffiyeh and a high-vis vest.
Same guy. Same guy leading it. I don't know who this guy is. Definitely leading the entire situation. Checking in. Look at all this. 40 seconds ago. Oh my God. Andy No posting, far-left rioters in black try to stop their comrades from being arrested by Chicago police. This is all happening right now as you're watching this. Chicago suddenly doesn't like riots only when it happens to the DNC. LOL. ABC 7 Chicago only does anything about crime when the DNC is in town. Didn't see this during the BLM riot. Facts. 3 minutes ago. Raw alerts. An hour. Live on the ground. Hundreds of Chicago police. Riot gear. Clashing with pro-Palestinian protesters. With activists. Things extremely tense. It is just out of control right now. Day 2 of Hell Week continues. There's even more. 8 minutes ago. Oh, we saw this already. It's out of control. We're going to check back in with that in a few moments. I'm sure there'll be some more developments, so stick around. We've got another story we've got to cover tonight. Before we get into that, let's get into our topics of the day. We got this Kamala story, Kamala versus Trump. Some good news. Trump reacting. We've got Kamala Harris supporters on the ground acting a fool. We got information on the debates. And then Trump schooling a reporter today. Oh, it's glorious. Absolutely glorious. So let's jump into this right off the bat. Buckle up, America, because tonight we're exposing Kamala Harris's radical agenda that is threatening to upend our entire economy. We've got exclusive polling data showing Trump flipping key states as Harris support crumbles. But that is just the beginning. From skyrocketing capital gains taxes that could hit 44.6% to an open border disaster, Harris is plotting a transformation that could destroy the middle class. And wait until you hear about the job numbers scandal that's about to blow wide open. The question is this the beginning of the end for the Harris campaign? We can only hope and pray that it is. And while we're discussing the future of our economy, let's talk about an opportunity that is literally buried in the ground. World Copper Limited Trading, as WCUFF, is sitting on a potential gold mine, or should I say a copper mine. With 7 million tons of copper waiting to be processed, we're looking at a potential revenue of over $200 million. As the demand for copper in green technologies skyrockets, this could be your chance to get in on the ground floor. Remember, always do your own research, but don't let this opportunity pass you by. You will find the links to take action and hear the presentation from World Copper Limited in the description. All right, let's jump into this right now. Lots of stuff to get right at immediately. First off, Elon Musk today put out a poll and asked, everyone's been asking Elon, hey, will you put out a poll, Trump versus Kamala? And Doge designer X debunked the mainstream media's false polls and claims that reported an even contest between Trump and Kamala Harris. Over 1 million people voted in the poll. Donald Trump leading by 79%. That's 1 million people. 1 million people. Think about that. When you look at all the polls on television, they're only sampling a small number, but I mean, it's not scientific. Let's just be clear. It's not a scientific poll from Elon Musk, but when 1 million people vote, that is a significant number. Polymarket also noting Pennsylvania, 51% to 49%. Trump in the lead. Now, listen to this. This just came out today. This is huge. There's been a report that the job numbers are fraudulent. The job numbers reported by the Biden administration, absolutely fraudulent. Let's listen to what Trump has to say.
There has been a report that the job numbers over the last period of time were fraudulent, and I understand that because I know how the job numbers go, and if you want to be a bad person in high office, you can be a bad person, but the numbers are going to be revised, that the job numbers were far less, at nobody's ever seen, if the 600,000 to 1 million people less, jobs less. And let's see if that turns out to be true, but that's what the rumor is. It was reported by a very respected outfit group, and we'll see what happens. But that's a terrible insult to our economy, because we were seeing numbers that were okay, not great, but now we're seeing numbers that, when they're adjusted, are a disaster.
A disaster. Fraudulent numbers being presented to the American people. Grant Cardone weighing in 3 hours ago, Kamala Harris will destroy the middle class with her financial policies. This is a plan of the elites to own everything. Long-term capital gain rates, 44.6%. The super wealthy never have to sell and won't pay anything. The only way the middle class and poor can ever get a score is to sell, at which point the government will take 45% of your gain. This is an accelerated agenda to control all property and stocks. This would mark the highest long-term capital gains tax rate since 1922. He says he was born in the middle class, raised by a single mother. This one tax plan will destroy the American dream. And that's exactly the plan by the communist elite who are trying to destroy this country, using Kamala Harris as their lead, their presidential selection. Charlie Kirk, 2 black women in Chicago just torched Kamala Harris outside the DNC. She's terrible. Listen to this.
What do you guys think about Kamala? It'll be cool. She's terrible. If she comes into office, it will be done. It'll be cool to see a female black. She's half black, not fully black, but it'll be cool to see a black president, Western Indian, female black president. But I'm definitely voting for Trump. Let me tell you something. She tries to get the black vote, because if you look at her past things, and maybe 10, 15 years ago, when she's in interviews, she identifies as West Indian. She does. The only way that she's identified as African American is right now, because she wants the voters. But she doesn't give a fuck Because where was she at in these past 4 years and she's vice president? What has she done for us?
She have not
Can
done
you say
shit.
one thing that
I
she's
didn't even
done?
know she was the vice president.
Can we say what she has done?
Let's go, Trump.
And I am going to stand on Trump, and I'm so sorry if that may ruffle people's feathers, but I have done my own research, and Trump has done a lot for us, more than what the media tries to portray. They're getting all our favorite rappers. They're having Megan Thee Stallion twerk and all of that to gain, because they think that that's going to make us vote for them, and that's not.
And that never got my vote.
And that will never get my vote. And I'm going to stand on that. Twerking
did
and
not get my
having
vote.
Meg Thee Stallion. First off, the
That's
song that she
ignorant.
was even saying is very ignorant.
What do you guys think about Kamala?
It'd be cool.
They know what's up. They definitely know what's up. Drew Hernandez, low IQ, woke female Kamala voters have no idea why they support Kamala Harris. When asked what policy wins their support, nothing but emotional nothingness. This is why Kamala doesn't need policy on her website. They know these types of people don't care. This is from Tenet Media.
Why are you voting for Kamala Harris?
Because she is the woman that we need right now.
Is there any specific policies or anything that really makes you vote for her?
I just believe in her. I believed in her when I lived in California, and I still believe in her now.
Because she's all about the middle class. She's like us.
Oh, really?
Trump is bad. That's just...
She's just like us. She's just like us. Nah.
Trump's bad.
She's everything we're looking for. She is. She's just everything we're looking for. She's looking for peace and love and sharing and cooperation and health care and food for kids. You know, what a crazy idea. We love her. Yeah. She's amazing. We need her. This country needs her. And Tim Walz.
The cat ladies for Kamala. So can you kind of explain that to me?
Well, I think you got it right there. You know, I don't need to go any further than that.
Are you a cat lady for Kamala?
I am a cat lady for Kamala, obviously.
Because I saw you in line earlier with this childless cat lady is voting Kamala. Can you explain the reasoning behind this shirt?
Because I don't have kids. We tried to have kids. We waited too long. We were enjoying our, life. And just because you don't have kids doesn't mean you're a bad person. And she cares about everybody, not just people who don't have kids. What happens if I couldn't have a child? What happens if I had medical problems? That's not right. You don't talk down to people because they don't have kids. Doesn't mean they're bad. And these guys, are all about it. Us. Everybody.
Okay, enough of that. Okay, so you got the boots on the ground. Okay, here we have live on NBC. A dude just wrecked Kamala Harris.
4 years from to watch her go on that stage.
They're talking about policy.
To watch her go on that stage and try and make the point that she understands that the American people are suffering, and then try to pretend as though she had nothing to do with it, or she didn't have a seat of power for the last 4 years from which to try and fix something for the American people.
Bingo.
On top of that, you're telling me you've got solutions to these problems, and you're going to let the people suffer for the next 5 months until you get elected? It's a weird place for her to be in, and while the Democrats are going to have a great convention, I'm most certain, because all these things are so scripted, after this is over, it's going to get down to the nuts and bolts, the blocking and tackling, what you have to do on the ground to win elections, but the messaging war will begin in earnest. You will now see who Kamala Harris is, and it's incumbent upon Donald Trump and his team to say she's more radical than Joe Biden and less likable, and talk about it every single day.
Wow. Kamala Harris is going to have to... Where is it? Kamala Harris is going to have to try to make the point that she understands the American people are suffering, and then try to pretend she had nothing to do with it. And of course, you may have heard about this. Kamala Harris turning down the debate on Fox News. I thought, wasn't it anywhere, anytime? Isn't that what she said before? Say it to my face, right? But don't say it to my face on Fox News. I didn't hear that part of it. Donald Trump posting on Truth Social. Comrade Kamala Harris has just informed us she will not do the Fox News debate on September 4th. I'm not surprised by this development because I feel that she knows it's very difficult at best for her to defend her record, setting flip-flopping on absolutely everything she once believed in, including her statements. Going on and on. So now she is backing out of the Fox debate. Yeah, talk about being a coward. Simon Ateba posting this. Trump surges ahead, overtakes Harris in the latest poly market forecast, 50 to 49. That's good news. The Fed to revise the jobs down by up to 1 million jobs. 1 million jobs. What may be the largest downward revision in 15 years. Radar hits posting this: fake jobs, fake inflation, and fake GDP. They are manipulating the numbers. They're manipulating the reality at every single corner. The media's in on it. It's all about joy. Kamala's bringing joy. Look at the polls. She's winning. Look at all the social media support. Look at all the donations from Act Blue. But yet, these numbers now have to be revised. It's going to change the entire perception of their so-called growth. And this was great. This was a great moment today. Kamala's campaign attacked Trump for being in this town. Listen to how he responds. It is a mic drop moment. Boom.
Thank you, everybody, very much. Thank you for coming.
Okay, so if you don't know what he's saying here, what's being said, it's hard to hear, okay? The reporter says, Kamala's campaign attacked you for being in this town because it's associated with white supremacy.
Thank you, everybody, very much.
Thank you for coming.
Who was here in 2021? Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Boom. They try to throw these gotcha questions, but he takes them out. Looking at it again, polymarket odds, 51 to 48. Donald Trump's retaken the lead on political betting platform Polymarket after trailing Kamala for the past 10 days. Il Donald Trumpo, when actual people are polled, political polls posting this, who has your vote in the upcoming election? This is from a sampling of almost 70,000 voters. I can't tell you how scientific this is, but Donald Trump taking 79% of this specific poll. 79%, Harris at 17, Kennedy at 1.4, which almost 79% here. This is from the Elon Musk poll earlier today. Continuing with the story here, resist the mainstream posting this 6 hours ago. Donald Trump gave this press conference. Let's take a listen.
So I'll send Kamala's illegal aliens back home where they belong. We have a problem because when I came in, they wouldn't accept MS-13 gang members. I told the generals we're going to get the gang members out. ICE and Border Patrol, the job these people do, but ICE would go into the country, get the MS-13 gang members out, the meanest, the most vicious. They kill people with knives. They killed 2 young students walking to school, 2 beautiful young 16-year-old girls walking to school. They killed them up and chopped them up into pieces with knives, dead. And ICE goes in and they go into those packs of rough people. And ICE is rougher than they are. These are incredible, brave patriots. A lot of people wouldn't want that job.
Neil Cavuto over on Fox News getting schooled today. Trump War Room posting this. Neil Cavuto beclowns himself by attacking President Trump's pledge to end tax on Social Security, then falsely insists Kamala would not turn 15 million illegals into Social Security recipients. Senator Josh Hawley.
Now, Well, I say if you want to imperil Social Security, look what Kamala Harris wants to do. If you let 15 million illegals into the country, give them amnesty, and put them on Social Security and Medicare, you will bankrupt those programs. We need to protect these programs and the people who have paid into them.
That's not happening right now. I know your point, but do you fear that by taking away the tax, that would apply to Social Security, many say you could be hastening the program's demise?
Oh, I don't agree with that. I think that the Trump proposal is a good one, but I think that, again, if you want to talk about how we're going to protect these programs for Americans who have paid into them, priority number one has got to be keep illegal immigrants out of them. And make no mistake, the whole idea of giving them amnesty is to make them eligible for all of these benefits, all of these government benefits to which they will have contributed nothing. This goes back.
And to make them voters.
Neil, to these fundamental questions. I mean, are we going to actually preserve this country? Are we going to get wages up in this country? We're going to close the border? Are our streets going to be safe? Those are the choices in this election.
And that's what Kamala doesn't want. Let's take a look. We got more. Listen to this.
Here we'll be out of a job within 3 years if I'm not elected. Every auto worker in the state, they're all going to be made in China. They're going to an all-electric policy. Well, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any country in the world, but we don't have for what you need for an electric car. But China does, and its territories do, and we're not going to let it happen. But they're building some of the biggest plants, and I have a friend who builds plants. He said some of the biggest in the world, I think he's doing them, are being built in Mexico. And they're going to sell cars, produce them and sell them in this country with no tax. It's not going to happen. And I told him, I said, you better hope I don't win. Always dangerous to say these things. Maybe that's why I get shot at and other people don't. Right, John James? That's probably why I get shot at. Other people, they'll protect other people because they can't believe they got so lucky. But I have to do what I have to do. I have to do the right thing.
Wow. That's why they shot at him. The fact that he even has to say that, it's disgusting. Here's more.
To our country right now. We have criminals from all over the world pouring into our country right now. Your job will never be obsolete, you know. It will never be obsolete, unfortunately. It would be nice if we could have peace, but we're not going to have peace. And this is something we're going to have to live with for a long time. She has allowed millions of people, open border, to flow into our country totally unchecked, totally unvetted. And they come from jails and prisons, slightly different. They come from mental institutions, all over the world. This isn't just in South America. People think it's South America. It's from Africa, Asia, the Middle East. A lot of people coming from the Congo in Africa, the Congo.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. You know, some of Trump's rhetoric is getting a little tiring. I think he needs to freshen it up a little bit. Yes, it is. These are all facts that he says, but I think he does need to bring up the tempo. Make it a little bit more positive. Kamala's botched Afghanistan withdrawal was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country.
Speaking of Afghanistan, the worst and most embarrassing day in the history of our country, in my opinion. We left 13 dead soldiers, 47 obliterated, just obliterated, the arms, the legs, the face. Left people behind, and we left $85 billion worth of equipment behind for the Taliban to use as it sees fit. And they're selling a lot of it because they don't need 700,000 guns and rifles. They don't need 72,000 armor-plated vehicles. They're one of the largest sellers of military equipment in the world right now. They're selling our equipment because they said, by the way, would have never happened with me. Abdul would never have done that. But they said, we didn't have anybody shot after my conversations with the leader of the Taliban. 0 shot in 18 months. We had nobody lost in 18 months. He knew that he was not going to do that. I knew that. But now you look at what's happened, and it's back. You know, we would have kept Bagram. That's the big air base. Not because of Afghanistan, but because it's located 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. So it's 1 hour away, and we had it, one of the biggest air bases in the world. We built it for billions and billions of dollars many years ago. Got the biggest runways, the biggest everything, and we just walked away from it, gave it to them, and now China's occupying it. And I thought that the scene a few days ago of the 3rd anniversary, they call it the defeat of America, was one of the ugliest scenes that I've seen on television in a long time. I've seen some pretty bad ones, so have you.
Wow. Now, back to the policies of Kamala Harris. NBC asking the question, does Kamala need to come out and explain to voters where she stands on the issues?
Well, but does she need to come out and clearly explain to voters where she stands on those issues right now?
Look, I think she needs to come out and address the concerns that she's hearing from voters, and what some of those concerns.
Yes.
Well, no, some. Well,
but
deflection. So as we wrap our deep dive into Kamala Harris's America, the picture couldn't be clearer. We're looking at plummeting poll numbers, a crumbling economic plan, and a border crisis spiraling out of control. But here's the kicker. While Harris struggles to fill seats at her own convention, Trump is surging ahead, flipping states and rallying a silent majority. So the choice in 2024 isn't just about personalities. It's about the very survival of the American dream. Stay vigilant, patriots, because the race is far from over. The stakes have never been higher. So keep your eyes on the real poll numbers, because if tonight's any indication, we might be witnessing a political earthquake in the making. All right, let's jump back into the chat. Get your reactions on this. What are you guys saying? What are you guys feeling? James Lane in the house. James Lane? The James Lane? Is it James Lane? Do I know you, James? I know a James Lane. Biden-Harris work for the Soros Open Society Foundation. Dave says, Harris will make me spend more at the dispensary. Elizabeth says, it says in the Bible, in the end of days, we could clearly see the difference between good and evil. America is being destroyed by the inside out by our own government. Oh yes, the separation of the wheat and the chaff is occurring before our eyes. We have to shout from sea to shining sea. Kamala doesn't stand for me. Love you, Gary. Keep up the good fight. Unacceptable. Rusty Shackelford weighing in. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Sharky says Kamala will give Willie Brown a job in the office if he wins. Day 2 was grotesque. Yeah, we're just getting started with the DNC. I can't imagine it getting any better. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? We will be here to bring you that news. Sure You says, frankly, we need to send Kamala back to the truckers' parking lot. Oh, that's brutal. We are paying for so-called free. Wayne is saying, I can like the video, I just can't watch it. I'm not sure what you're experiencing there. Trump victory from Australia. Yes, we have people watching from Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, all over the world watching the program. Where are you watching from? Put it in the chat. Jeremy Olson predictions did say USA would be destroyed from within. BNR Racing, the entire key for President Donald Trump to win is to make sure Democrats don't cheat with 81 million votes or a 5 billion spread. Garrett Shore You says, don't read what I say out loud. Oh, my goodness. James Lane. James? From Oklahoma? James? I need to know. Is that you, man? It's been a long time if it is. Hope you're doing well. Okay, let's take a look. Brian, if you see a comment from James, I'm just curious if it's the James Lane that I know. J.C. Fraser, keep preaching the truth, brother. Let's check in with what's happening with the DNC riots outside of the Israeli consulate. Okay. Debbie Booth happening now outside the DNC, Democrat National Convention, Chicago police in riot gear. Ongoing, highly tense situation. Quote tweeting raw alerts from an hour ago. 42 seconds ago. Where's your coverage of the riots taking place outside of the DNC? New joy just dropped. This is the joy the Democrats want for America. You're witnessing it right there. Holy cow. Funny how police stop riots against the DNC, but not when they're against ordinary citizens. Michael Mara, hate to break your bubble, but there are literal riots outside the DNC. Day 2, DNC convention. Still no talk of policy. Hear a lot of attack Trump. There are riots going on outside of the DNC. Just another day at the office for the Democrats. And then they post this picture of the entire lineup of speakers. Come check out the space talking about RNC and the riots. Diligent Denizen. I'm not sure what this is. I don't even want to ask. Andy, no, 50 minutes ago we covered that. And again, there's the that dramatic drone footage of the riots taking place right now. Look at that police lineup. Unbelievable visuals right now. Now, Obama was supposed to speak tonight. Dare we look and see? Obama. Let's see. I believe he spoke. Michelle Obama, here she is.
Always looked out for the other kids on the block.
Okay, this is an hour ago. Michelle Obama arrives at the DNC and the United Center goes crazy. Day 2, live updates. Obama's headline is Democracy. Democrats lay out a bold vision for America's future. Former President Barack Obama, former First Lady Michelle Obama are slated to headline Day 2. Yada, yada, yada. Huge ovation for Michelle Obama taking the stage. You just saw that. Hope is making a comeback. Sure it is. Meanwhile, outside, while everyone's cheering, we have the riots going on. So what do you guys think about this new format? Do you like this format? Checking out all the live tweets, your reactions. I think it's pretty cool. Getting a lot of good feedback from it. The raw feed. Definitely different than what we've ever done before. And it's because of you guys. You guys make it possible. Remember, we got to break the algorithm. And we can only break the algorithm when you share the feed. I say this all the time. Take the link to the feed and text it to 5 people. Open up the numbers. Bypass social media. Bypass the news feeds. Use your phone. It is the best tool that you have to bypass the algorithm. We are shadow banned. We are not growing here because YouTube has got us in a barrel. We can't even get any more outside into the YouTube, outside the ecosystem in YouTube. So we need your help to get around that. Adam Lowitz, 1 hour ago, he says, this is why I canceled my meetings downtown, doing things remotely during the DNC. It's unpredictable when violence will erupt. I saw this kind of nonsense percolating during the 2020 BLM riots. One flashpoint can set the whole thing off. Democrats are violent. Quote tweeting Andy No. Media Research Center posting this. Riot police clash with pro-Hamas rioters outside the DNC. By far the most violent and chaotic protest we've seen thus far on only night 2.
Facing off with pro-Palestinian protesters right now. For what it's
Brian, bring it up in the big double.
Riot riot police facing off with pro-Palestinian protesters right now. For what it's worth, we're close to a mile away from the United Center, but you can see the pushing, you can see the shoving. Look at the center of that crowd.
Excuse me. Sir, name and birthday.
If our camera can pan over, we have attorneys here yelling at people who are getting arrested to give them their name and birthday. But I have to point out to you, this is like the third or fourth standoff that we've seen between these pro-Palestinian protesters and Chicago police. For what it's worth, some context, we were reporting on this protest earlier tonight. This is called Make It Great Like 68, referring to the anti-Vietnam War protests of the 1968 DNC here in Chicago, when there were police beatings, there was police violence. These protesters, police having us back up, they've been doing this all night. These protesters had said they wanted to clash with Chicago police. They encouraged people to confront police. They encouraged people to do whatever they had to do to get the message through, including getting arrested. It's gotten physical several times. We've seen multiple arrests. You can come up a little bit, lift up once again to show what's going on there. Tom, it is a chaotic night, by far the most violent and chaotic protests we've seen thus far in Chicago since the DNC started, and we're only on night 2.
Only on night 2, friends. Only on night 2. Media Research Center posting that. Want to send a shout out real quick to my buddy Brian Dreyer out there. What's up, Brian? Hope you are keeping the bolts tight over in the shop. Yeah, doesn't appear to be much more new information. We can keep refreshing the feed to see, but it's just crazy. We'll have more on this tomorrow. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and participating. It's been a crazy day. We're coming to the end of another explosive episode of the Raw feed on the Next News Network. And it's been quite a night. So let's recap all the bombshells that we have dropped. We've witnessed day 2 of DNC Hell Week, with chaos reigning supreme, protesters breaching security, delegates brawling in the stands, Kamala Harris speaking to a sea of empty seats. It's a disaster of epic proportions, folks. Then we broke the story that's sending shockwaves through Washington, the potential Trump-RFK Alliance. Now, this political earthquake could reshape the entire 2024 race and spell doom for the Harris campaign. We exposed the disgusting attack on Senator J.D. Vance by a Harris surrogate, showing just how low the other side is willing to go. But Vance isn't backing down, and neither are we. And finally, we pulled back the curtain on Kamala's America, a nightmare scenario of skyrocketing taxes, open borders, and a middle class under siege. But here's the kicker. As Harris support crumbles, as the DNC goes up in flames, America is watching and Trump is surging, flipping key states and rallying the silent majority. Now, here is where you come in. The mainstream media will not report these truths, but we can bypass their censorship. Right now, take out your phone and text this link, the link to this stream, to 5 of your most patriotic friends. Tell them what they missed tonight and why they need to tune in next time. Remember, in a world of fake news and political spin, the Raw feed right here at the Next News Network is your beacon of truth. We're on X, we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube. We're here every night bringing you the stories they don't want you to hear. So spread the word, stay vigilant, and keep fighting the good fight. This is Gary Franchi. Until next time, Patriots, stay free and stay informed.